Yeah, recording. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So let's start with the first problem then. So our first problem is longest common subsequence. So two texts are given, and we have to return their longest LCS and subsequence. Definition they have given is like new string which is generated from original string with some characters without changing the relative order of the remaining characters. Like AC is a subsequence of this, while AEC is not because order of ENC is changed. And common subsequence of two strings is a subsequence common to both, and if there is no subsequence, you return zero. So like here, the length is 3, that is ACE, and here you have again 3 ABC. We don't have anything common in these two, so null, I mean 0. And these are the constraints. Both the length will be 10 to the power 3. Text 1 length, text 2 length, and input will consist of only lowercase English letters. Yeah. So what should be the brute force? It's like a common tip. I mean, what is it? Typical problem of.
Yeah, we have got used to this LCS problem now, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so we don't even think of a brute force.
yeah. Directly.
Right. So, but if we were to do a brute force, we would actually do some substrings of both the text one and text two. Is that what it would be? Not
Yeah,
substring, right? It can't be.
generate all the possible subsequences of both the strings and check which of them are common, and then what is the maximum of them.
Okay, so we generate a combination, okay, of all these of all the characters in a text in a string.
Yeah, subsequence. Yeah.
Yeah, a combination. And so if we use an abstract way, we can actually generate all the combinations, right?
Yeah.
So
But mutately, yeah.
yeah, we can skip once and then we can use the other index, something like that, in a recursive way. And then when we have a list of all those whatever those strings will be, some of them will be subsequences, some of them will be substrings, and then we do for both of them, and then try to find and try to actually traverse from the end wherein we have the greater string length, right? And then keep on going towards the smaller string. Yeah, and then we find if there is a common. Okay, that makes sense. But it will be a huge time
Two
consumption,
raised
right?
to the power n. Yeah. I mean, for generating
Exponential.
all the exponential.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And
So
rest, the normal recursion, like if both the characters are, I mean, if it is a function of S1, S2, so if both the characters are matching, then you will take f of, what is it, 1 plus, you will decrease, right? S1 by 1 and S2 by 1. Otherwise, max of, right, max of f of S1, comma, S2 minus 1, or what do you say, f of S1 minus 1, comma, S2. Yeah, I mean, from backside, I'm doing
yeah, so you are trying to establish a recurrence relationship.
a relation for this, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that
Yeah.
is one way we would do, right? Okay. So I assume that you are trying to do a top-down approach in that case, correct?
Yeah, this is a top down. I mean, if we cache it, but
Okay.
the one which I've done is a bottom up. Yeah, I mean, it will be same like what is
Right.
it?
It should be almost the same. Yeah,
So
makes sense.
this is just bottom up I have done. I mean, calculating the length of both of them and creating a DP array for what you say, length of first and second n cross n, and just going through this, what you say, going through that string length for every this, going through this, what you say, array, the a which I created, and if both are empty, then it will be zero only, because otherwise if the last two characters are same, then you just 1 plus take the diagonal elements, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise max of off diagonal. I mean, one row above and one column below. Whosoever is max, just take it and put it there.
Correct. Yeah. This will be the top-down approach. Sorry, bottom-up approach. Hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this will be the optimized one, and also you can slightly optimize on the space front by using two rows, something like that, right? Yeah.
Okay.
That might be one more optimization.
The
Yeah.
space. Yeah. Yeah. Then we can switch
Or
to
else
next.
use the top one. Yeah. Let's see if someone has any other approach
Okay.
wants to discuss that. Yeah. Or we are good to go ahead. Yeah.
No, no. If
Like, can we
anyone,
go to
go
the
ahead.
top-down approach, like discussed it? I mean, I understood it's a recursion and memoization, but how we are getting those combinations? If someone can explain.
Okay.
Com.
He's
Like
saying
what I
let's go
did.
to the top down. Okay, no problem. Do you
Raj,
have one implemented or
I think bottom up.
okay? Then let us see if anyone. Abhishek, do you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
let me share.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so this is the recursive one, and I have memoized it. So uh, this part is like we are trying from the rightmost end, and then comparing if both the characters are same or not. If they are same, then we know we need to keep this character in our answer. So one, we add it to the answer, and then we iterate through uh, minus one index of both the strings. Otherwise, if both the characters are not same, we have to take max of deleting one character from the last in either of the two strings.
Okay. So your main function is the longest common subsequence. If I understand that, then you are actually calling the DP is also another function. Okay. And then in that you are passing the first n plus one. Oh no, sorry. The DP is I'm so my bad. It's array and get is the function.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first two are the W1, W2. They are the two strings what you are passing, and then you are passing the n and m. They are the lengths,
yeah,
and then the memo I. Okay. So the base condition will be when both of them are zero. When you are actually at the first index of both of the strings, then you return zero. Okay. And if both of the characters are same, then you are incrementing by one.
yeah.
That is what you are doing on line number 30.
43.
43.
Oh, 40.
Yeah.
It's not visible there. Okay. Or else then you come to line 45 where you just take the max of two combinations. So in this case, one of them you are decreasing by n minus 1. So you are decreasing W1 string, correct? And then in the
Yeah,
second you are decreasing one of the W2 string.
yeah.
And
Same as deleting a character in the string and then comparing for common subsequence again.
Mm. Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah, okay.
So this was the memoized one,
Mhm.
and for the space optimized one, this is the approach. So since we know in the top down, okay, in bottom up, what we do is uh, we make n cross n vector or n cross m vector,
Mhm.
and then try to uh, do the same uh, do the same reconciliation, but this is the reconciliation which we use. So from these two lines 16 and 20, we see that we just need the previous index value or the okay, so the previous index value for both of the strings. So that will be I guess for this we just need two vectors to store the previous values. So this is why I have declared 2 cross m vector here and not n cross m.
Right.
So if it was n cross m vector, then this would have been the solution. Like if I equal to say or j equal to 0, then it will be dp of ij equal to 0. Again, if both the characters of the string are same, then dp of ij equal to 1 plus dp of I minus 1 j minus 1. Now,
Mhm.
since we have only two two, since we only have two vectors here, so this I minus 1 will be same as 1 minus 1. So
Uh,
this will be dp of 0.
the two, I mean, I didn't get what is your vector. Like DP is
Okay,
matrix of
so
size by M.
2 rows.
okay,
Yeah, 2 rows are there and m
so
column.
so dp of ij is equal to dp of I minus 1 j minus 1 if both the characters are same.
Hmm.
And if and again dp of ij equal to max of dp of I minus 1 j comma dp of I j minus 1 if both different. This is the normal tabular format approach. So here we see that we just need the previous what do we say, the previous recurrence information, which will be stored in the I minus 1th vector. So if I am at suppose I am at ith iteration now, so I just need I minus 1th
That is the
values
top
of,
row. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And again here this is
Oh,
the same,
okay.
and here I'm using the previous one. So two of the previous one values I am using. So this boils down to like we are using only two vectors at a time. So instead of making n cross m vector, we can just use 2 cross m vectors, since at most at a time I just need two vectors.
Yeah, you need only two rows at a time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
therefore, you're doing it everything by two by this. Okay.
One current, another previous, right?
yeah, yeah.
One current and then okay, yeah, the previous one. Hmm.
So, so this is why this dp of I will be dp of 1 and dp of I minus 1 be dp of 0. And then after the iteration is finished, I just need to swap the second vector with the first vector. So here I have just assigned the value, and finally the answer in n cross m vector will be dp of nm. But here, since we have 2 cross m vectors, so it will be dp of 2 of m. Or since it is 0 based, so it will be dp of 1 of m.
Yeah, on line 26, you are not swapping, you are actually copying the
Yeah,
second row to the
just
first row. Ah,
yeah, directly assigning it.
overwriting. Right, yeah.
Yeah,
So when you are initializing your DP vector, you have
yeah,
two rows. Um, but like when you are going to the next iteration, you're copying DP first row to the zeroth row. So
yeah,
at each iteration, your zeroth row is your previously updated values,
yeah,
but your
yeah,
first row is to like non-updated values. Right?
yeah.
So
So
how do
zero will
you
always be the previous one.
And dp
Like,
of 1 will be the current one.
So he's working on DP of one always.
yeah, go ahead. I'll just draw the diagram just to make the clarity. I
when
mean,
you
once
are
you're done with this, you need to copy this to this so that it can, this result will be used for the, what do you say, to, I mean,
Next iteration.
yeah.
so when we are updating, when the element is not equal, we go to the first row and pick the previous column element. Will
Yeah,
Yeah,
that be up, like
it will
when
be,
we do the
these two you'll
1j?
have to, if you have to get this element, you have to take the max of these two.
correct. But what I'm trying to say is, at that time, is it the updated value in DP of 1? Because we are, if we see the iteration, always DP of 0 is all the updated values.
Yeah, because
But
he's going
DP
on the
of
column wise, right? So previous column will always be updated. So column wise, you are iterating. The J is a column, so it is an incremental order 0 to M. So
Yeah,
therefore, the
so
previous column will always have a value, updated one.
yeah, so we are traversing from left to right. This is why I have this index uh, before I process this index. So this is why when the both the characters are not equal, I can use these two index and take the maximum value of it, maximum value of both the values, and then assign it to the current one if both the characters are not equal.
okay. And for the next iteration, it's going up.
Yeah, and if both the characters are same, then I just need to add
What happened? We lost him.
Yeah, looks like that drawing
Oh,
was.
yeah, he dropped. It's okay.
But
Anyways, we
he
Yeah,
explained.
he explained everything, right? Yeah, okay. No problem. So let's move on, I think, right?
sure.
Unless he comes back again.
So our next problem is what do
Oh,
you say?
yes, come back. Yeah, Abhishek, do
Oh,
you want to?
share. Do you want to share something, Abhishek, further?
No, I guess that was it.
There was it.
Yeah,
You dropped network problem, right?
yeah. The Zoom collapsed, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's happened. Okay, no problem. Thank you. So let's go to the next one.
So this is a stone game where two of the players are there. Okay, Alex and Lee, and they play a game of piles of stones. And there are even number of piles arranged in a row, and each pile has a positive integers, which I mean piles of I represent the number of stones at that particular index. Now, objective of the game is to end with the most stones, and total number of stones is odd. Okay, it's a good point. And so there are no ties. So Alex and Lee takes a turns with Alex starting first, and each turn a player takes the entire pile of stones from either the beginning or from the end, and will continue till no more stones are left. At which the person with more stones wins the match. And Alex and Lee, they both of them play optimally and return true if and only if Alex wins. So if like let's say Alex took first time 5, right? Then Lee will take what do you say? If Lee takes this, then again Alex will take 4 9. So 5 plus 4 9, and Lee will be left with 8 only. And we have to just take care of Alex only. He wins the match.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is what they have explained. I think right.
Okay. Yeah.
Greedy. I mean, looks like, but I don't know for all the test cases Greedy will pass or not.
Yeah, because you have to explore each and every possibilities, right?
So
So you'll have to start from always from the extreme ends, and you'll pick one of them for Alex.
both the
And
cases will have to.
yeah, you'll have to try both of them, but one by one, if you take the left one first, then whatever is remaining will be uh, the turn for other Lee. So then Lee also plays optimally, so he will also pick up the maximum in that case. But what will be returned to Alex will be the minimum values, right?
Because optimal game is there. I
Correct.
mean,
Yeah.
opponent takes the bigger one, he will be left with the smaller. So Alex will always try to pick the max from his side because that is only in his hand, right?
Right. Uh, yeah, but it all depends on in the previous cases the way how he plays, and he allows Lee to pick the minimum always. So that
Hmm.
will be so you will have to explore all the possibilities, and also for the from the both the ends for both the players, and therefore it will turn out to be a DP solution, right? Because there might be overlapping some problems also in this case. Correct, yeah.
So recurrence relation, if we write,
Hmm.
could be let's say if f of Alex and Lee, whosoever wants the match, this will be like there are two cases. I'm taking Alex. If Alex takes first, if he picks the first one, so for the remaining, it will be like index. I'm taking 0th index. So this much will be left for the opponent, right? This will be, and if it picks the last one, nth minus 1th, then this much will be left with 0 to n minus 2. This, right? I mean, because if it's the last one, so one stone got
I
removed
have
from the corner. Yeah, go ahead. Or we can make it in a mean order also, right?
That should be minimum because if you are coming from the previous one, right?
Now, both the ways I saw using min also, but there I think plus should be there, right?
Yeah, there are
So
different
for
ways to do it. Yeah.
Alex, for Alex, we need to maximize it, and for the
We have to
for Lee, we need to minimize it. This then only Alex will win.
win the match here.
Yeah, I think she has some question. Yeah, Deepal, go ahead.
I'm trying to understand the output of this question. Like
Yeah.
this, you're picking the stones, and it can be either picked from the front or the end. So uh, if suppose Alex starts with the left 5, then it will be 3, 4, 5. Then the other player can take the last 5.
Okay.
And so at this time the score is equal, and uh, if
Then
the Alex takes 4, then the other person will have to take 3. So that way Alex will win with
yeah,
9 and 8.
yeah. And in this question, Lee will never lose the match
Why?
Yeah,
because
okay, let's come to that later.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, okay. So, Abhishek, what was your explanation? He had an explanation on this, right?
What we can do is, since there are two turns, that is for Alex and Lee, we can start our DP state from the turn of Alex, and then if the turn is of Alex, then we need to maximize the total sum of the what is it?
uh, total
Total
sum of
points. Okay, so we need to maximize the points. So uh, since we need to explore all the possibilities, what we can do is we can take either of the start or the end one, and then go with the recursive flow. And if the turn is for Lee, then we need to minimize it. So only then Alex will win. This is why for the turn of Lee, again we need to go for all the possibilities, but we need to minimize. We need to take all the minimum value while taking when Lee's turn is there.
Right. Yeah, I agree that. So what we'll have to do, Shashank, the recurrence relationship what you have written here. So when you say a of 0, first of all, it should be not minus, it will be plus, right? You'll have to add from whatever the function recurrence function what you get. Okay, anyway, this is not a probability sum, so we just have to return true or false, right, in this case. Okay. So, but minus won't be the right way to do, right?
yeah. For that minimum, then I have to because see, Alex took the points, right? These many points will be subtracted because now it's the chance of
Okay.
other
So,
fellow, right?
right. So
So
the way
those.
Abhishek is saying, so what he's trying to say, your first recurrence, see, this will also work. Okay. There's no problem because the way this problem has been addressed in this particular lead code is not the correct way of, because it's a optimal strategy DP
Okay.
pattern, right?
Min.
Yeah. So in that actually we return the value. It is a probability actually what we return. What is the probability of Alex winning? But in this case, they are just saying true or false. So the whole thing changes. But if we try to follow that optimal strategies DP pattern, in that case, what you have to do, so your max, the previous one is perfect. But when you come to A0, that is right also. So then you'll have to add, and then you'll have to say minimum here, and then you'll have to you'll have two more recurrence relationship. The first one will be the same you did like this, where you are taking one of the element for Lie from the left side. So you'll have to do the same from the right side also for Lie, and then you'll have to take the minimum of those two and then add with A0. And same thing you will have to do for the an minus 1 also. Okay, so only minor change if you do. So the way Abhishek was saying, that will also work.
So
This will
what?
also work. I'm not saying that this is incorrect. In this case, for this scope of this lead code problem, both of them will work.
You are
Um,
saying if it takes 5, right? Then
Yeah.
what this much is left for the opponent. So from
Correct.
here he will take minimum, because that is the point he will get. I mean,
Okay.
maximum is taking from here. And if he takes 5, then minimum of what you say 3, 4, and 5. And again, next LX chance comes, so he will take the max out of it. Let's say he takes 5, then again minimum of 3, 4. Like from his side, he'll always take max. From other side, he'll expect a
Oh,
min
okay.
value.
So even before coming to the recurrence relationship, if we actually do one by one, okay. So if 5 is for
Um,
Alex, yeah, okay, go ahead.
so why can't we do like have two pointers on either ends and move it? Like,
Yeah, that will be greedy approach, but imagine a case when both the pointers have the same value. Then again, which one we have to choose, that will be an issue. And again, if we choose uh, any of the ones, and in the next stage the other candidate picks the greater one, then at last there may be a optimal strategy where the first candidate will win, but due to the greedy approach, the second candidate will win. So this will
Yeah,
not be an optimal approach.
but can we discuss such example? Because I tried to use greedy approach and it passed it all tested. Could you please share
Yeah,
an example
yeah. So
where it
Well,
will not?
actually, this problem will pass even if you return true also. So that's,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, this
uh,
problem is not the way they properly have done here. So they have
yeah,
not.
but I
Uh-huh.
sorry for interrupt, but I tried greedy approach. Each of them just took the maximum, yeah, value, and in part it passed. It would be nice to have an example where it does it not work, yeah.
For
So
this
5.
problem, everything will work.
hey, but in the greedy approach, what we can do is like for Alex, right? As we are moving the pointers on either sides, we actually take the maximum. But for Lee, as we are moving the pointer, we will take the minimum. So
Correct.
in that case, it will work, right?
No, no, why not? Why a minimum? We can also fully take a maximum. Both of
No,
them are work in such way.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but why I'm talking about minimum is like I don't know who it was who suggested that let's say if the next one was higher and then the second player ends up taking it. So to avoid that, we can just take the minimum, right, of both the sides
Yeah, we
and
have
assign
to
that to
take.
Lee.
So we
Yeah,
have to take minimum for Lee first, and
yeah.
then whatever we have for the way we are doing for Alex, we add it, and we'll have two cases again in that case also. So then, therefore,
Mm.
Shashank was saying taking a maximum of all the things, whatever we are taking minimum for the Lee. So after on the higher level, you will have to take max of the two cases. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's greedy. I don't think so it will pass.
Well,
I
in
mean,
this case, the greedy also might work because they are not following the way the test cases are, because they just want to return true, right? So anyway, you will be winning. Yeah. Okay. So
but no, for this example, will Alex? I mean, not. I'm saying not from the elite code perspective. Like
mhm.
if we follow the greedy approach,
Okay, let's
so
see. Let's try to break down. Okay.
if
So in this
Alex,
case, okay, in
yeah,
this case, this is 5. Both of them are 5. Okay. So there will be two cases, right? Okay, let me annotate, and let's see if someone disagrees, we can always go back. So this is the first case. If I pick this 5, okay, so this is my 5, okay, then what is left for Alex? It will be 18 to 6. Okay, now Alex is also smart guy. So
yeah.
sorry, Lee is also smart. So in this case, he will pick up 18, right? So Lee will have 18. So what is remaining now is 16 and 15 for me in the case of Alex, right? So 5 plus 16 if I pick. Okay, so that guy will pick 18 plus 5. So this is the first case where Lee will win. But the question doesn't say that. Question says that how we can win. Okay, so we'll have to again explore the other possibility. So this time what I will do is I will pick up this 5, right? So this is my first case, right? So in the second case, what I will do is I'll pick this 5, not this one. So the one from the right side. So I have picked 5. So now Lee has only option of picking 5 or 16. Sorry, yeah, Lee. So in this case, he'll pick 16, right? So after my second draw, what I'm left with 5 and 18. So I'll pick up 5 plus 18. So in this case, Alex will win, right? So whatever the way you do, Alex will always win. Right. So if even if you use greedy approach or anything, but for just imagine if this question is asked in the interview, he won't ask this way, because even if he puts up this way, he will again twist the whole thing. So I think we should know what the optimal game strategy DP pattern is. So if we at least know that, then we can handle that situation, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
Right. So what we were doing, so because he won't expect the way we are doing a greedy approach. That is what I think. Yeah, I might be wrong in this case also.
No, I think that should be. So
Because
we'll
we
have to.
actually, when we were actually working on those DP patterns, do you remember in our Sunday session? So we had that optimal strategy of game. So
Yeah,
if we try to recollect that, so but in that case we were returning the probability, I think, right?
no, by how much point he is winning the other person, something
Okay.
like that. It was.
Okay, yeah. So we actually return. Okay, let me run that and see if it works. Okay, yeah. So we have to return the value, and that is the by how much amount he can win.
In the match, yeah.
Right. The maximum amount. Okay, maximum amount for that. Okay, so that was a slightly different variation, but here in this case, it will all he will always win whatever the way you use it.
Because the sum is always odd, right? And if it is odd, definitely then it odd sum is always possible because of even plus odd. Because two evens can never give odd, right? So one of them has to be bigger.
Yeah.
So Santosh, you said that what we did in the like whatever the top bottom approach, bottom up approach is used here, we are taking like maximum of the like two elements, difference of two elements in the beginning and the end, and whatever is max, we'll pick that so that the Alex wins at each iteration. But that is not the right approach, because that is that what you meant?
Come again.
So
Same
you
question.
mentioned that greedy approach is not the right approach.
Well, if you look in the terms of the optimal strategy of game, so then that won't actually work, because the way they have implemented, or the problem is put up in lead code, they are not considering that.
Case, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you just look at the what is the related topics he talks about. He talks about dynamic program, min-max, and math. Okay, so he
Min-max.
talks about DP, correct? Min-max is also almost DP. No?
Game theory,
Yeah.
yeah.
So only remains is math. So I don't know what the math means, or whenever you just return true, if that is what the math is talking about,
Math is
that
plus
math or
minus.
sorry.
And plus minus what we are doing this course. Is it that math involved because of that?
Okay, so in the math, what I think is, see, what we can do is we can sum up all the piles, okay, and take the half of the piles. So we know if anyone reaches the half of it, so he's going to win. Correct. So if he wins, if he's able to collect the pile or the stones of pile, whatever the number is, if it's slightly greater than half, then that guy is going to win. So maybe we can use that way.
And that guy is going to win because Alex is starting first. Had the other guy started, then Alex would have never won, right? I mean,
Yeah,
here,
but we are always yeah. Alex is always starting. Yeah, that is one thing. That is right. So therefore,
Does
Alex
it
will always win.
on the way numbers are arranged in the list? Like yeah, like whoever starts first will be able to pick more number of elements, but still it also depends like how the numbers are ordered, like max min.
Yeah, but whatever the way they are ordered, the Alex should always win.
yeah,
That is true.
Okay.
It is not that good, right? Then compared to that Geeks for Geeks, that exhaustive search we make, and then all the different types of test cases.
Right. So I'll quickly share the optimal strategy what we implemented there. Okay. And then we can come back to this problem. Okay. So it was this way. So this was a slightly different sum though. So we have an array and then we have an integer n. That is what the number of piles are. Okay, so this memoization, this is the helper function where I'm passing this the piles and then start and end. So left and right. Okay, so this is the recurrence relationship here. Okay, so the way you are showing a slight difference than what Abhishek was talking about, correct? So
Yeah.
if you just forget for these for now, whatever these mm, base cases are, so the max you are surely taking for, so you'll have two cases. Okay, so one is if I'm starting from the left side, right? So array of I is the left side and this is the right side. Okay, so if I'm starting, Alex is starting from the left side, so I'll take that value and then I'll take of the minimum of whatever Alex is going to play. Okay, so now what if I play I? So Alex might take I plus 1. Sorry, Lee might take I plus 1. So in that case, what is left over for me will be I plus 2 and J, right? So from this one. Or else if it takes from the right side, it will be J. So then what is left for Alex will be I plus 1 and J minus 1. Correct. So you are actually going one step ahead of what you are playing now. Correct. And then you're trying to take the minimum. So whatever is the you return value from this recursion function, you are trying to take the minimum. Okay. So this is one. This is the first case when actually Alex is doing it from the left side. So we'll have to consider the other case when Alex is picking from the right side. Okay. So in that case, again, it will be exactly the same what we discussed above, but in a slightly different way because I'm picking J now. So J won't be picked up by Lee, right? So Lee will either pick up I. So if he picks up I, then what is remaining for Alex will be I plus 1 and J minus 1. Okay. And if Alex picks up J, J minus 1 actually. So then what is left for, sorry, Lee picks up J minus 1. So what is left for Alex will be I and J minus 2. So out of these two recursion functions, right, I'll pick the minimum for Alex, correct? And that I'll add to my right side value. The same thing I'm doing for I'm going for the minimum of both of those for previous of what Alex will be. And then I'm adding that to the left side. And then these two cases, this first case, right? So this first case and this is the second case. And that whatever is the maximum value I'm taking from that.
So yeah, so it's like if it's my turn, then I'll pick the max, and if it is others' turn, then I'll expect that he'll give me a min.
Right. So this is what the optimal game strategy is. Okay, so this is the standard DP pattern. So if you look at this problem, what we are actually discussing, it falls under this category if it's a DP problem. Okay, if it can be solved in a greedy way. So the reason why it can be solved because the test cases what they are using and the return value they are expecting is slightly different. Okay, but if they still say it has to be solved by DP way, then this will be one way to think of. Okay, so in our case, we won't be able to return, we are not asked to return the values, but we can actually return the number okay, in such a way, and compare if it is greater than half the value of the total sum of my whatever the stones are, right? So it will
So
always be true in that case, that is for sure.
What are you storing in memo? Like,
This was slightly different, so it is actually storing the number of stones what this guy is going to win at the end. So if I return, it's just going to return these values. These are my test cases.
could you please
In I-
explain why do you use min? I cannot understand. Why
So
do you need min?
yeah, because see, so why? Because see, this is Alex playing. Okay, so imagine if Lee plays. So Lee will pick also the maximum value. So what is left over will be the minimum values for me, right? So
Ah,
we are
okay.
actually giving a chance for Alex Lee also to win. So that is what this DP pattern talks about. It's and the min max also is a similar way, right? Shashank, you know about that min max.
yeah, there's a game theory. Yeah.
what is the breaking condition of your recursion? I'm not able to understand what exactly are you returning or storing in memo in the recursion.
In the memo, actually at each and every time, so whatever the value will be, so number of stones what you are picking, so that will be stored here for each
Number.
and every index.
So if I don't get these conditions, like if I is J, then you return I.
Yeah,
That's
because
a
we are actually moving from left and right, and then we are actually converging, right? So j is -1. Always we are decrementing from j and incrementing from I. Correct. So we'll always meet in middle. So that is the condition.
single stones also. If you have, then both I and J will be same. So I mean, single element in the array, you can just return there itself. Yeah, same thing. Like you are shrinking the array every iteration.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So these were some of
So
the
is
test
it like
cases.
we are storing the score at in the memo at that
Iteration, yeah.
index? No,
Yeah.
so
Not
memo J.
jth
See,
amount of stones is stored at ith iteration. That is what dpij is stating here.
Hmm. Correct. Okay. So, but yeah. So the way you were you implemented, so that should surely work.
We have stone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at 6 too. I think there they might have somewhere gone to that level. Might be. Yeah, go ahead, Santosh.
No, that's fine. So yeah, uh, I think who had any questions on this?
so just to confirm, so in this question, we are like trying to get the number of stones that Alex is able to get in the optimized way at each iteration, and whatever we are getting in the last iteration, we are just uh, giving that count.
Not
Yeah.
count. I mean, wins or not.
Well, okay. I think the way Shashank you are doing is very optimal. Okay. Let me show my way because I thought in a very maybe it's not uh,
No,
the right way implemented. But why I'm saying uh, because
Santosh, I have a question about the that thing. What that was a different question you mentioned. So that's not returning true or false, right?
right. That is what is a different important question. Yeah. So
So
what I
that in
did,
that we,
sorry.
we returned how many stones will Alex get at the end of the game?
Right. That was a question there. Okay, so the way I use the same optimal game strategy DP and to solve it, even though it's lengthy. Okay, so this is the way I thought of implementing. So what I did is initially, this is n of piles size. Then I am taking a half sum. So what is half sum? I am actually adding all the stone values and then I'm dividing by 2. Therefore, I'm saying it's half sum. So at the end, when I come from this helper function, this will be the number of stones what Alex has won. And if that sum is greater than my half sum, then Alex is winning. Okay, so I'm using the same DP pattern. What was there? So this is the same DP pattern here. Okay, so in this case, I'm just taking if I is greater than 1 and I'm traversing one index ahead, but still it's going to return 0. Okay, so if I come here, so here I'm just taking the minimum of both of the sides. Okay, so assuming this, in this case, Alex is actually starting from this is I, right? So he's starting from the left side, and here Alex is starting from the right side. So I just take these two sums from the front sum, and this is the second sum, first sum and second sum. And then actually I take the maximum of both of them, and then I return that. Okay, so I'm trying to implement exactly the way the optimal game strategy DPS.
So this is same as what you explained earlier, right? Taking the max and returning the memo.
Yeah. So you got why I'm saying this, Shashank, because I'm trying to use the same optimal DP strategy, but I know that this is too much for this problem. Okay, but we can implement in a different way also, the way you are implementing. And the reason what I wanted to show is this problem is similar to the optimal game strategy. So the interviewer might drive us over there. And as I think Ankita was saying about using the greedy approach, right? Also, Nick was saying.
Greedy will fail. I mean, here it will pass,
Here it
but
will pass. Yeah, that is what it is. So the way she was saying, they use a right and left pointer. So it is almost the same thing. So greedy might pass, but I'm afraid that interview might pull us in saying, okay, have you heard about this optimal game strategy? And then there will be some different approach we will have to work on. Correct?
go in that direction. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
but
these were my thoughts. So
this
you
is
people
very
have
generic.
always, sorry.
The one
This
this is very
this
generic what you're saying.
Yeah, so therefore we
yeah.
always try to use patterns, right? The standard ones. And that is always better because we have something to fall back on and we can argue on it. But if there is some approach which is totally new and we are discussing that, then we should be prepared to answer different questions because the
Questions.
conversation might go in a totally different way.
Yeah.
So I see that there are the breaking conditions that you have used here is little slightly different than what you used previously.
Yeah, but in this case, I'm actually looking for if my both the pointers are traversing and crossing each other. There, I was just stopping when they are actually exactly on the same index. That won't be valid in that case also, right? Because if my size of array is even and I have two indexes which I'm actually moving from left and right together, so there won't be in a case wherein both of them will actually land on the same index. Yeah, they might, yeah, but I'm
They
just
can.
going one more index ahead. Yeah, so both should be fine.
Yeah, because the previous one is exactly same as this. We are just extending it by checking uh, checking it against the half sum so that we can decide who won.
Yeah, so that is the way I thought should be implemented if you want to use the standard DP pattern.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can you post this solution?
sure. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually use implemented in similar way with, using the DP one,
Hmm.
but I have some doubts if it is correct or not. So, so here, what I did is I assigned one turn variable. So if the turn value is 1, this means it is Alex turn, and if it is 0, then it is Lee turn.
Okay.
So, so when it is Alex turn, we will add the answer. We will add the current index, and then move to the other part of the array, and just turn back the turn pointer, and then do the same for the AND value, and then take maximum of both of the possible cases. Now, if Lee's turn is there, since I need to minimize the value, so I subtracted the value which Lee will take and take the minimum of both of these values.
I
So,
think
uh,
that
yeah.
is a mistake. From Lee side, he has to maximize. So why you are putting minus there?
Okay,
D
so
should
Yeah,
also
because
maximize.
because I think that is should be okay, right? Because if you are the
yeah,
Lee
so
side,
the final answer will be if the array contains only two elements a comma b.
hmm,
So the final answer will be the difference between a minus b. So I am trying to maximize the uh, or trying to take the optimal value of the difference of the both the sum of the points of both the players. So since Alex goes first, I need to add all the points which Alice takes, and Lee goes second. So I will take when Lee is choosing a value, I will subtract it from the final answer. So answer will be the difference of the values of both the players. Now, if the answer value is greater than 0, this means Alex has a higher value than Lee, so Alex will win. So this is why I thought,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think if it is correct or not. Since I tried for multiple test cases. Let me
Oh.
share. Okay. So if the array contains four values, so
Mhm.
then Alex can try picking a 5 and 4. So his
Mhm.
sum will be 9, and Lee will choose 5 and 3, which will be 8. So 9 minus 8, 1. Again, here Alex will choose 4, Lee will take 3. Then this will uh,
Well, that
keep
test case,
adding,
will it
and then
work? Because you are taking five. We have to have even number of
They have mentioned even.
files.
no, this is for the general approach. Yes,
Okay.
not the specific.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so here it will be for Alex it will be 4 plus 1 plus 1, which will be 6, and for Lee it will be 3 plus 1, which will be 4. So 6 minus 4 again 2, and then here Alex will pick two tens and Lee will pick 1 10. So 20 minus 10, 10, and here comes the part where Alex loses, since he will choose 3 here, and then Lee will choose 6, and then Alex has to choose this 2. So 5 minus 6 will be minus 1. Now, since the difference is negative, this means uh, the points which Alex has is less than the points compared to Lee. So in that case, he will lose.
Yeah. So
And if the
in
difference
this
is 0, this means it is a draw.
yeah. So in this case, in your this current case, what you are showing here, and the test case what you are taking, that makes sense. But in the lead code, they are not allowing the odd ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are actually
So
maybe they didn't word it properly. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. What was it?
yeah. So since the values are coming correct, I think the approach will be right, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this.
No, this approach will surely, if it's a generic approach, I think this is perfect. I don't think so any issues.
Why you are subtracting for leave?
The only thing what Shashank was asking, I would actually like you to explain to Shashank, because yeah, that might be one thing, right? Why we are taking the
So
negative value on line
here,
39.
yeah, yeah. So dp of ij is uh, the the difference of the points of Alex and Lee.
Mhm.
So difference of the points of Alex and Lee. So we will add all the points of Alex and we will subtract all the points of Lee. This is why we are taking negative value here. And
Oh,
for Alex turn, we are adding it.
I think yeah, since you are taking minimum, that's why it is working. If you take plus and put max, the result will be same in else part.
Yeah,
Come
maybe.
again, what was that,
See,
Shashank?
he's doing minus and then taking the min of a comma b, right, in the else part.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I'm saying other way around, take both of them as plus and take the max. That should also work. Like because Lex is playing, right? Lex will try from his side, if we think he'll try to always score the max thing. He's also doing the same thing, but in a other way. Can you change that minus to plus? Both. I mean, plus that also plus, and this you make it as max. Not
But
sure.
then
Let's.
this will add all the terms. This will not subtract it since there is no
Okay.
subtraction here. So it will just add all the values.
Okay. Yeah, he has slightly implemented the different way. Okay. But it looks logically okay to me, correct? Right? Because why I'm thinking that should be fine. Because when you are in lease, if you are in else condition 38, it means lease playing, right?
Yeah.
So whenever Lee is
Yeah,
playing, you need to return the minimum values for Alex, right?
yeah, yeah,
So that is what he's trying to do by subtracting, because Lee has already used that value minus P as whatever he's saying. So that is already consumed by Lee. So you cannot give that to Alex. So that is already gone. That pile is gone for Alex.
Okay.
So that is the way I look at it. Uh,
Or if we do plus and then does mean like both plus and keep mean as it is, will it work? Because minimum you will return for the LX. I mean, you got my point, right?
but we are not subtracting any of the terms.
Yeah, that's more changes.
hmm.
Yeah, then
Yeah, but
here
it's a
again
different
I
way
need
of
to,
implementing. Yeah.
yeah. So there is a question on
Hmm.
geek geeks for geeks, I guess.
Okay.
Let me share. So this is a question on geeks for geeks. Here there is no condition of uh, the size of the array or the sum of the array. So
Okay.
here we need to check if the player one will win or not. So here they have given a test case where
Mhm.
which I used. So here the first player will never win since he has to
Okay.
choose 3 here and the second player will choose 6. So the sum will be always less than the second
Mm.
player.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, that is right. Yeah. So in this scenario, for sure, it won't win, right? Because anyway, the middle number will be always greater. If it's greater and the other two are smaller, then surely is not going to win because there is no chance for him to pick up that bigger number, right? Yeah.
And second
Yeah, so
array.
this is the generic one where uh,
Yeah.
the size and the sum of the array doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We just
So
need to optimally check if any of the player wins or not.
yeah. So that is one thing what the interviewer might change, on the fly, saying, okay,
Yeah.
now instead of even, I make it odd, and then
So
how
this,
you handle
yeah,
it.
so this will be the expected question
Yeah, I think
related to
so.
that topic.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
you see line number 31, what you are doing for a else part minus, and then you are taking max of it. Is it working?
No, here, no, I just checked it is not working. So here they have some edge cases. So I don't think this solution is working. So I need to change this solution again.
Mhm.
So I'll try if this works. Since here they have taken all the cases, so we need to check if all the possibilities work or not.
Okay, player with the maximum score. Okay, let me also try this some. Geeks for geeks, right? Okay, this looks interesting. Yeah, but this problem is slightly not very clear on the lead code, right, Shashank?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
they have
You also
many.
agree, Abhishek, right?
Yeah. So there we can just return true since
Yeah, that
every
is
time
not
the
right.
first player will only win.
Yeah.
I guess this is why they made the tags as maths. You know, one of the tags is maths since we can use maths approach there.
So, but what type of maths approach you are going to use?
So, this is the main part since Alex
Mm-hmm.
is first to pick file and
Mm-hmm.
the length of the file is even.
Mm-hmm.
Alex can pick odd files or always pick even files. So imagine this. So I have taken all the index here.
Mm-hmm.
So this might happen that Alex only chooses 1 plus 3 plus 5 or Alex only chooses 2 plus 4 plus 6. Now, since it is mentioned that the sum of the array is always odd, so
Mm-hmm.
either of one of these will be odd or greater than other one.
Yeah, both you can say, either odd or even, because sum of two numbers is
Yeah,
odd.
yeah, 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 yeah. It doesn't matter which one is the even or odd, but either one of these will be greater than. So
Yeah.
since the sum is not even, so there won't be any case where both the values of A and B will be same. So
Yeah.
so the first pair will always try to first check if the values at odd index is greater than the values at even index or not. If it is, then he will try to choose all the values at odd index only.
Yeah.
So he can do like this. First he chooses one. So the search space uh, goes from 2 to 6. Now the second player has to choose either of 2 and 6. And if he chooses any of the values, again Alex can choose either 5 or either 3.
Mm.
Yeah. So Alex can always choose either the all the odd index value or all the even index value, and he can take the one which has the maximum sum. This is why we can just return true, since in any of the cases Alex will always win here.
Yeah. But this would be a good explanation to explain in an interview instead of just
Yeah.
returning
So
true,
this
right? Yeah. You can use it
yes.
this way.
So this can be a edge. No, this can be a specific case where. So we can start explaining with this specific case where the sum of the array is odd and the length is even.
Yeah.
So here in this case, the first pair will always win, and then we can go over the general approach where the length and the sum doesn't matter.
Yeah. But if you were to implement the math way, there won't be any way to implement, right? It will have to be either a
Yeah,
DP way to implement or just return true also. Then maybe oh,
Hidden math.
fine, right? Yeah. Because for explanation, we have to go this route. Cool. Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Shashank, let's go through here quickly because I think that is also very much required.
So yeah, I mean, this is like the normal DP table that for caching what we do defaulted, right? This is one of the base cases. If you are left with only one, just you return any one of them. And if already if this state is already present in table, you return from here. Otherwise, this is what we are doing. Piles of left, and for the remaining function we go because we have already picked one. So remaining is left plus one to the right, right?
Mhm.
And this is if you have picked the last one, then remaining is what, right? Subtract the right and then
Yeah.
whatever you get out of it. And out of these two we are picking the max.
Yeah. That is right, actually, because initially I also started working this way out because I thought it's not the optimal strategy DP problem. But if it looks like a DP problem, then if in a generic way, a generic case, what Abhishek was, uh, discussing and displaying at that time, right? So then I'm not sure, whether this approach will be okay or not. But this approach works,
Here it
right?
works. Yeah,
Yeah, because any time you will have to still find the minimum of the previous one, right?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to come up with, but yeah, this should be also fine. Hmm.
But the main is one like
So
9 by
Mm-hmm.
so when
showing.
I saw this question, I
Mm-hmm.
was expecting another variant where they were asking if uh, who will be the winner, but they don't have that variant in LeetCode.
Yeah, they don't
So
have that.
one of the variant which they have is they need to the maximize the difference of the points of both the players. That is one of the variants they have in LeetCode.
Okay, the game 4 or game 5. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think the new one which has come 7
They have come
uh,
with 7 also, right? Okay.
till 7 they have taken, I think. I'm
Okay.
not
Yeah,
sure.
then in those cases, we'll have to.
Explore it.
Okay. Those are. Okay.
Are you using recursion here?
Go ahead.
Are you using recursion here?
Yeah, yeah. This is recursion only, right? For the next call, I mean, same function name is, and I'm making call for the rest of this left plus one to right. If you take the first one, so from second index to the last, and if you pick the last one, then second last to the first for the next call it will go.
And you are updating max in the DP table.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that is right. So if stone game we have different variants, we have, right, Abhishek? We have different variants, so we should not worry too much about this problem then,
We'll tackle
So
that.
Sun
right?
also using a similar kind of approach, but slightly different, I would say.
So
Like,
that's a generic one that, I mean, that is better to, what do you say, keep in mind, because that will help you at all the places. This will work only specific to this question.
Mhm. Okay, so then it's fine whatever the approach we use for this particular, because we have different variants of
Yeah.
this problem. Okay, makes sense. But at least we discussed they might be useful if we actually use all the other problems. They should be same, right? Or similar, not same.
They have used BFS also in some of the problems. Like they'll ask what is the shortest path by which Alice can win the game.
Oh
So we
yeah.
draw the tree and you can take BFS on the tree.
Hmm. That will be interesting, right? Hmm.
We can take one day, I mean, any Sunday.
Yeah,
All the
maybe the
seven.
stone game session. Okay. Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Then let's switch to next. So this is like, yeah. Okay. So this is like distance between the bus stops. A bus has n stops which are numbered from 0 to n minus 1 that form a circle. And we know the distance between all the pairs of neighboring stops. The distance of I is the distance between stops number I and I plus 1 model. I mean, if you go to the last, it will again take you to the first. Circular kind of thing. And the bus goes along both the directions, clockwise and counterclockwise. You have to return the shortest distance between given start and destination.
Okay.
So this is your distance, like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your start point and this is your destination.
Okay. So
So
we
that
have
is
0 and 1 here.
okay. Sure. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So like this is, you are given an array, and this an array is in circular array. So it's like the bus is always traveling in a circular fashion. So, and always is going from left to right, and when it reaches the end, it again comes back to the origin. Okay.
Mm.
So in this case, we have given always those two start and destinations, and the only thing is we have to find which one will take the minimum. Okay.
Minimum one, yeah.
And
So
bus
that
can
is
go both directions. Okay.
my direction.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you do?
One is like BFS, right? But
Really?
I'm just
So one can be,
Sorry.
so since it is a circular array, we can just go with the clockwise or anti-clockwise and then take the minimum of both the values.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that on what they are saying. I mean, yeah, clockwise and counterclockwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would also be very reasonable, right? Yeah. But I didn't
Yeah,
understand why BFS will be even someone will think of.
because of shortest, I thought.
No, no, people can think
But
and they might do
we
very
don't
good.
know.
I'm not saying that. I was just very curious to know. Yeah, it can happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it
but
looks like if you do this way, what Abhishek was also saying, right? And I think if you do the O of n, the linear way, right, that should be fine in this case. Correct. So you go
yeah,
always first find the start and then go to the destination, and then do the same thing wherever you are in the destination. Again, keep on going ahead till the start. So then you will find both the ways and both the paths, clockwise as well as anti-clockwise. Correct. Because if you first find start and then you go to the destination, then you start from destination. So you are actually going in the reverse, anti-clockwise. And then you
yeah.
from the destination you go to the start and treat the whole array as a circular array using that modulo size of that array.
Or yeah. The
Yeah, but
ideal experience will be too much, right? From
So
start.
either we can
uh-huh.
we
Go
can start from either we can take from start to destination
Mhm.
or again destination to start.
Right, yeah,
So either of the two.
either of the two, yes. But
So
in some test cases, they actually are reversing the destination and start. It won't always be like that, right? I don't see it
Yeah,
here.
so
Uh-huh.
yeah, it came first in test case 24 in the
Right,
total number
somewhere.
of test cases. So there we can just swap if the value of destination is less than value of start.
Mhm.
Since the main intention will be same, that will be calculating the values from start to destination or destination to start and
Mhm.
take the minimum.
Right.
so is this distance vector is like always 1, 2, 3, 4 in the sort of fashion?
You have mentioned array, distance
No,
array. It
Or
need
it's
not be all. Here it will
so
change.
there is an example where they are taking 1, 2, 3, 4 as a metric, and start and end is 0 to 2, 0 to 3. The next example.
Yeah.
Here it comes either 6 or 4. I was not getting how to calculate that. So 0 is 1 and 3 is 4. So they are trying to go from 1 to 4. Sorry, 0 to 3. Oh, that cost is 4. 3 to 0.
No, if you go from 0 via 2, then it will be 6, right?
This cost is to go from that stop to next stop, and since it's circular for destination further index 3, the next is 0. So that's why it's
Oh, you
you're
are
treating
telling
it
that
as a circular array.
Hmm.
if it's okay.
I was just confused how that calculation came. 6 and 4.
I didn't get like what you are saying, like from 0 if you have started, so you have to go to 0 to complete. Is it something? What do you say?
So start to destination we are going, right? So we are starting from 0 and destination is
3.
uh, so if we go in the front direction, it's 2 plus 3 plus 1. Which is 6.
6.
Go in the reverse direction, it's 4.
Yeah, this is the 4. Yeah. So like, what is doubt in that? I mean,
No, I was just
recall.
uh,
Yeah.
confused about how that calculates.
Yeah, it's six or either 6 or 4, both cost, right? So you just have to pick the minimum.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the way Abhishek said, right, you do anti-clockwise and clockwise both. And whatever is the minimum, you return. Yeah. So this one, okay, you're done.
No, I thought Abhishek. Abhishek is there. Okay. No, no, no. Yeah,
No,
go
no,
ahead,
I'm
Siddharth.
saying that the way he said, okay, he's showing it. Okay.
So uh, just so I got a wrong answer since I did not swap this to destination and start if destination is less than start.
Right.
So on 24 test case, the value of destination is smaller than value of start.
Yeah.
So first we need to check, and then if it is, then we can just swap it.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, so in the for loop, what I did was I took a variable which stores the sum of the whole path or the travel cost, and then also I stored the cost to travel from start to destination in clockwise direction, and then the value in anti-clockwise direction will be the total sum minus the total value in clockwise direction. So this is why
Hmm.
answer and total sum minus answer.
Okay.
Complement test.
So this
Yeah.
is like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 will be the sum. And since 4 is one of the values in clockwise direction, so in anti-clockwise direction, it will be this whole sum minus 4 and take the minimum of both the values.
Nice.
Mm, so the answer when your start is greater than, now is lesser than.
That is the forward he is
No, that,
calculating. That's why I is greater than
yeah,
start
yeah.
and W is less.
So if I need to calculate from 0 to 2, I need to get the value of 0th index. So this is why for start I have taken equal, but at index 2, I
Yes.
don't need the value of index 2, which is 3. I just need 1 and 2. So I will take all the values from the start index until the destination minus 1.
Oh,
So it will be 1 and 2. So if I want to calculate for 0 to 2.
correct.
How would you do it for
And
0?
Yeah, makes sense. Right. So therefore, for 0 to 3 in this case, you will take 1, 2, and 3.
yeah, I don't have to take 4 here
Okay.
since the value will be from 0 to 3 minus 1, which will be 2. So second index will be 3. So I have to take only 1, 2, and 3 here.
And that is the reason you have to add, because you already have moved from the start. So you are taking that
Yeah.
cost also. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Um, can you say it again? How would you do it for 0 to 3? So our destination is
Okay, so for 0 to 3, let me go from clockwise direction. So for clockwise direction, I will go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Now in the for loop, since the start value is 0, so and the destination value is 3, I am traversing from start to destination minus 1. So here from 0 to 3 will be 0 to 2 only. So 0 to 2 in the cost vector. So it will be 1 plus 2 plus 3. So I don't have to take this third index again. Since if I take the third index, it will calculate an extra step while traversing, which is not which will not be added in the value if I traverse in the clockwise direction.
so you are taking the difference, you are taking the total sum and then returning whichever is the smallest.
Yeah, so see, if I need to calculate the value from 0 to 3 in clockwise direction, so I need the values of 0th index. So since 0th index value is the value to traverse from 0 to 1, then again I need the value for first index, which will be value from 1 to 2, and then I need the value at second index, which will give me the value from 2 to 3. And finally, I need the values from 0 to 3, and I have traversed from 0 to 3. But the index till which I added is 2, which is destination minus 1. This is why I did I less than destination and not I equal to destination.
Okay.
And again, for the anti-clockwise direction, it will be the total sum of the cost minus the sum which I got in clockwise direction. So this will be the value in anti-clockwise direction.
So what are you storing in your total sum?
So the total sum will get this. Total sum will have all the
So
sum
the
of all the values in the vector.
and why are you swapping that initial swap
Yeah.
between
So in some of the cases, like in test case 24, what they did is the start the start value is greater than the destination. So here this might not work if I use the same code without swapping it. Since
Hmm.
so So I have to go for values greater than equal to 7, and also the value has to be less than 2, which is not feasible. There can't be any value which is greater than 7 and less than 2 at once.
Correct. So
This is
you
why
are
I need to swap it.
going from 7
Yeah,
to 2, same as going from 2 to 7. That is top.
2 to 7. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. Yeah.
This is like next. Yeah, this approach is almost similar to Abhishek's.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we can use the modular one, like in circular array.
Yeah, yeah,
From both the
So the
sides and
index
check.
will be always from 0 to n minus 1.
yeah. Yeah, but in some cases it might be two pass almost, right? So the way you did was a single pass. Hmm.
Yeah,
So
two
if
pass.
they ask us to implement in a one pass, then that might be an approach to go with. Yeah, this is good. I also did the same similar way. So that's
Okay.
fine. Okay, I think we are,
We are done.
and yeah, we can done.